Hey guys, Cat Beta here. Today I'm basically sharing a very informative video. Basically, I have here the DDJ-400 and I've been looking for a comprehensive guide on what everything does on here, what each button does on this deck. I haven't found one, or at least one that YouTube will show me, because you know algorithms. But I found a way. Basically, I played with everything for the most part, and everything I know, I'm going to share with you today. So stick around, and here we go. This is deck 1, and this is deck 2. Both of these panels are basically the same thing. Anything you learn here will apply to here. The mixer is different from both sides. So we'll start on this side here with deck 1. This is the most important part, you could basically say, the jog wheel. Basically what this does is it searches through the song for you, or what we call scrubbing. So if you turn it, you'll start to hear the music play where it's at. And also that's how you get your scratch sound. This is when it's not playing. All it will do is go back and forth on the sound. Once you do start playback, this has a separate function on the side versus the top. Basically what's going to happen is once I play it, if you turn the wheel on the side, it'll either speed up the song or slow it down. And this is basically what we use for beat match, and I'll show you that real quick. Listen to it. You hear how it's speeding up? Alright. And that was it slowing down. I gotta go back to my point. Okay, back to my cue point. Okay, so these first two buttons on the top, this is your loop section. So basically all of this except for this applies to looping. So this is your in point and this is your out point. If you're playing a song, once you hit this, this begins your loop. Once you hit out, that's the end of your loop. So if you do a 4-bar loop, I'll make one real quick. Wait till 1 and 4, and as you can see, it just loops. I'll show you another thing that you can do with these two buttons. You can adjust where your loop begins and ends. So while these are activated, if you hit any one of them, say we start with the in, it's going to start from the beginning, but it's going to go a little bit ahead. This is during playback. It has to be playing for it to work, so my bad on that. Let me make the loop again. Alright, now watch as I adjust it. You see how it kind of stops moving? And as I go back, and that's our new starting point. It's the same thing on the outside. It's just it's gonna move back a little bit more. So I've effectively turned it from 4 beats to 12 beats. And that's how we use the loop menu. This right here, all this does is deactivates and reactivates the loop. That's all you need to know about that right there. Beside that there, we're gonna start the playback again. I'm gonna turn it down so you can see what's happening. Alright, so what's happening here is this is going to double or half the song where the loop is going. So now the loop has half. Pressing the back button. You know who. Alright? And it doubles. And now we're back to that 12. That's all those do for now. Once we hit shift, the functions will kind of change. But let's move forward. All right, so down here we have the pads. We have a few different selections here that we can do with them. First and foremost is going to be your hot cue. This is going to be like the basic thing that you need as a DJ, basically, because basically it's going to give you save points in the song to come back to for the most part. So all right, I'm gonna turn this down because I got to spin it back. Say I want to be able to come back to this section here on a song. Let me turn it back up. I want to be able to come back to the start there. If I want to come back to that, I hit hot Q and I hit a pad. Doesn't matter which one. Now when I hold it, it'll continue to play. Let it go, it stops. There's menu options inside of your program that'll change that. But I like it so that when I hit it, I can play the song. If you need another example, let's move further down in the song. Say I want to be right at the drop of the song. And I like how that sounds. I'm going to hit a Q right there. And you see what that does. So that's your hot cue. So I'm going to go back to A. And those are our hot cue. The next one is beat loop. Basically, just like what this does here, this basically does it for you automatically. In your program, you'll have it set up to how many, whatever the pads will be. Basically, your pads are the activation keys for that. So what I have it set to, I have this to a quarter, half, 1, 2, 4, 8, 18, and 32. So basically, that's how the length of the loop, how many measures would be in it, basically. So you'd count each one, and that's how long it would be. So I'll go ahead and do a 4. Wait, no, that's a quarter. Sorry. I'll hit 4. I have to activate it because it was off. I can double it. Go to 16, go to 32, or go back to a quarter. Go to half, go to 1. And that's basically what that does. When we go into beat jump, this one is different altogether. I'm going to turn the loops back off. This one's different. So basically what it's going to do is going to jump the amount of beats that you want it to. I have it set for each 2 is going to be one number, but back and forth. So this is 4, back and forth, 8, back and forth, and so on. So I'm going to jump 4 ahead to this part of the song. And then I'll jump back. So I can almost make it like a loop. And you can jump as far as you want. Let's say I do a 32 jump. You see how far ahead into the song. Basically, 32 is called the phrase. So you jump from one phrase into the next with that one. But you can use this artistically, creatively, if you know what you're doing, or if you practice with it. I don't use beat jump much more than to get my songs together, basically, to scrub through songs as fast as I can. And then the last we have is the sampler. This is where you basically put your little effects that DJs love, like, or the all-time famous, right? So that's where you would put that segment.